Hi everyone, my name is Zifong. I'm currently a third year medical science student and I'm a senior international student ambassador working with ATU Global. Welcome to ATU. I'll bring you on to a campus tour right now to show you about the ins and outs about our campus. So this is one of the main entrances for ATU. There's two main entrances. This is the northern reception, and over there, across the street, will be the student accommodation, Glasan. There's another student accommodation 15 minutes down the road. Most students will probably be living in Glasan anyways. So yeah. So this is one of ATU's largest theatre halls. It can accommodate about 300 something students. So usually when there is like overlapping courses and like modules for certain courses, like for example science, for first year students, most of the time they will be grouped together here and they will have same lectures. So like for first year science students, they will do biology, chemistry, physics and all of that. Everyone will do the same regardless of what course you're doing, and they will be grouped together here and then they'll have their lectures together. So like this is one of ATU's biggest lecture hall, and you can see later that the other ATU's lectures hall and lecture rooms are smaller because that's the way ATU's classes are designed. And now I'll bring you over to show the smaller classes, let you see how they look. So for most of ATU's lectures, right, they're actually broken down into into smaller groups. So for example, if my course, medical science group, although we already have like a very small amount of students, like we have about 30 students in total, we are broken down into groups of 10. So we have group A, group B, and group C. So it's very intuitive in this way that students get to have a one-on-one kind of relationship with their lecturers and talk to them. So let me see if that's happening. Yeah, so this is one of like these smaller lecture rooms. Like this is considered still quite big, like can fit about 10-20 students in here, right? And all the lectures rooms are equipped with projectors and stuff like that, standard stuff. But like the rooms are smaller because you have to let students be closer with their lecturers, even though like the classes are small already. And then after that, in tutorial sessions and stuff like that, students will get to have more opportunities to ask questions, talk to their lecturers, get to know them better. In general, I think it's like compared to other bigger universities where it's just one big lecture hall and then you have an audience of students and then the lecturer gets swamped with a lot of students at the end of the class. I personally prefer this kind of like settings exactly because more students, like especially the shy ones, as a lot of people are kind of shy, they don't dare to ask questions during class. It'll be good when the lecturer walks around and then like they will give you guidance and stuff like that one-on-one more. So like I prefer that kind of settings more. So yeah, and yeah, so this is one of like because right now they're having induction, so like they set up some rooms for students to enjoy and relax. And I can show you this lecture hall here. So there are certain lecture halls in ATU that are more equipped than usual. Some of the rooms are equipped with like online learning sessions because ATU has a lot of sometimes mixed programs and stuff like that, and students will have online classes and they have a webcam to capture the class, and then they also have like a screen and like some speakers or microphones around the room to kind of capture what's being said so that it can be added to the transcript on the meeting. So like this is just, I think there's 2 rooms in ATU that's like this. I think they are making more of the room now because they recently just actually is constructing a new STEM building for students in science and technology and engineering. So that's nice. And also for students who want to do stuff on campus but don't want to use the library, they can use pods like this. So this one is reserved for students from staff, but there are pods downstairs near the library and the floor below for that students can book on the library website to use for their own studies, or like maybe they want to do group projects and stuff like that. They can use these types of rooms. And this is the southern entrance. This cafe foyer, usually students will kind of hang out around here during lunchtime, during their breaks, and then there will be like a coffee shop over there where they can get coffees or refreshments or whatever they want. And this is the library, and once we go in we can see more. Is there a librarian on duty? No. Is there a librarian on duty? So yeah, so usually students will go up through the stairs, but since the stair is inaccessible, we just take the lift. upper floor of the library. The library in ATU. So for students, a lot of the times students won't need to buy textbooks and stuff like that. Actually, they will have recommended reading materials, and all of the recommended reading materials given by our lecturers will be available in the library. They can either borrow them using their student card, or they can even borrow it online. So like there's a library website allows you to borrow books online, and then you can view the PDF and stuff like that for like a week or something like that, and then after that you have to return it. So it's something nice. And also all the tables come with like a lamp. Yeah, it's a lamp and some chargers. Some tables don't have chargers, some do. So yeah, and I'll show you one of the meeting rooms. Yeah, so there's study rooms all across the library, and these rooms are, students can book for their own use, and like some of them even have like a TV where they can connect their laptops. Yeah, it's really handy for like group discussions and projects and assignments and stuff like that. So yeah, and also the library also has some laptops and computers at the end. So like if you come over here, you can see from the top. Yeah, the library has some computers and laptops that students can use, and they can also use the library to print stuff for like their assignments and coursework. So they can log into their student account, and then they can upload the files that they need to print, and they can print it using the library printer. So yeah, that's about it. No, printing is not free. I think they start you off with €5 credit first, and then after that you will have to add your own credits. Yep, and it's about like 10 cents per page. Yeah, 10 cents per page for every print. And personally for me, I think it might be the cheapest, because like it's very rarely that you will have to print stuff for course, only specific lectures. So I think having it on campus is really nice, because like if you want to go outside, you have to travel like 10-20 minutes into town, get it back. But like if students live in student accommodation, they walk across the road and then they get their stuff printed. Like even for like your IRP renewal registration documents that you need to print, you can also print it here in the library. So like it's quite useful. And also these aren't the only computers. There's also like an IT center downstairs where students can, there's like a lot of computers and anyone can just log on and use using their student account. Yeah. So that's kind of it for the library. Yeah. Oh, and the library is open from Monday to Saturday, but on Friday and Saturday they close at like 6 p.m. Okay, so this is the only library for this campus, but we have another campus in Well Park, which is also known as a creative center of arts. So that's where most of the design art students will be doing their studies there. It's like about 1.5 kilometers from here. It's like 15 minutes walk, and they have their own kind of dedicated library. The library over there is really nice, but I haven't gotten a chance to visit it myself. But like, the students from that campus say that their computers are equipped to work with their projects and stuff like that, because most of the time they'll be using stuff like Photoshop, Illustrator, all these creative kind of apps which are very demanding on the hardware. And if you don't have a PC to run it, it might be hard. But like the campus itself has like PC you can just use for your work, so it's very handy. So I'll bring you to let you see the IT center where all the computers are. These are like the pods that students can use, they can book in the library website. And then this is where the IT center is. So there's another printer down here as well that students can scan their student ID card, and then you just print whatever they uploaded onto the website. And this is the IT center where there's a lot of PCs and stuff. Usually it's quite busy, but the semester hasn't started. And like if student has any kind of IT issues regarding like student email or account setup and stuff like that, they can go to this place to ask for tech support for help as well. So yeah. But yeah, now I'll bring you to kind of the main student lecture studies.
There's so many lecture papers.
Yep, because there's a lot of programs that's running ongoing at the same time. Yeah, so now we'll be going down this corridor, and this corridor is kind of like where the main students most students will be probably traveling in between, like it's kind of like the intersection of everything. And from this point onwards, the campus is kind of divided into four main sections, four main disciplinaries: the hotel school, the science school, the engineering school, and the kind of computer and also business. So like this kind of five main disciplinaries, and like this kind of hall intersection is where the students kind of get separated into their own kind of disciplines. So, so this way will be towards the Galway International Hotel School. So like if you're doing culinary arts, hotels, tourism, hotel management and stuff like that, you will be in this segment of the school. And one interesting fact about this course, this like area, is that there's a restaurant that student on campus can go to. And it's a fine dining restaurant that student only has to pay for €5. And why €5 is because the people who are cooking will be culinary students, and they'll be doing like their practice, and then to not waste the food, students from campus can come and dine in and eat the food here. So, oh, and there's also lockers available to rent. Like if, for example, if you have labs or you have to keep something on campus, then you can rent it for like €5 for the entire year. And at the end of the year, you can return the keys and get back your €5. So it's basically free, yeah. But if you're lazy to return the key, then you have to pay the €5. So this is kind of like the training bar. Like there's a bar here. I don't think you can go inside, but there's a bar here that students can kind of practice. If they're working in a hotel. And over here is the Connemara restaurant. This is where students can book for €5 and enjoy like a fine dining. There will be a 2 to 3 course meal served. And yeah, so that's basically kind of it. But like, I unfortunately wouldn't be able to show any of the kitchens or the labs because of health and safety regulation. So like you can take a peek through the window. That's really about it, and nothing much. Yeah. So like they'll be going back to the main hall just now. And over here, there'll be more kitchens down this entire row. And yeah. And moving forward here, we'll be going to kind of the science area of the school. There's also more hotels, kind of restaurants, or not really restaurants, kitchen downstairs here to accommodate for students. And over here will be kind of the science and computing school, where this entire row here will be computer rooms that students can kind of come in for their lectures and stuff. And an interesting thing about these computer rooms is they are equipped with very good kind of hardware, and students, when there's no lectures, they can use it whenever they want to. So like if you're a registered student here, you can use the computer labs anytime. Like even like you have no classes, as long as nobody is using the room, you can go in and use the computers for your own coursework and projects. And down this hall, there's 2 laboratories for science. This is the microbiology lab, so you can't really go in as well because of health and safety. Whenever you go inside these kind of labs, you must make sure to have your PPE, personal protective equipment. So without them, you can't go in at all. It's very the science school is very strict on this kind of rule, and like it's kind of like ingrained into first year students since the first day they start. And the personal protective equipment like lab coats, lab glasses, and everything, students will have to buy for themselves. But I think it's good to buy because you'll be using it for the entire year. So yeah. If we come down here, there will be more labs like physics lab and chemistry labs. Yeah, so over here, there's more kind of labs towards this direction, and then there's some lecture halls, lecture rooms down this way as well. So I think one of these labs is I don't even remember the name, but it could be DNA. The molecular lab is upstairs, but this lab is probably a flexible lab where they do like different things here. But all the labs here are equipped with a lot of like the equipment such as like chromatography and like spectrophotometer. All of them are equipped with it. And like for example, I'm doing medical science course, and like we will have to use these appliances when we work in a hospital in the future. all these labs have the same equipment as the hospitals, and so that students can get used to it and they can learn along the way. But yeah, over here will be the canteen where students can get food, lunch, breakfast, everything here. Sorry. And then over here will be the student union square. So like a lot of events will be happening here. Like students have just now they just had like a pizza party. So like students can get free pizza and get them. Sometimes there will be some events where career workshop and stuff like that will be happening mainly in this area because of the space here. And going down this hall, canteen, yeah, sure.
You think canteen food is cheaper?
Yes, canteen food is definitely cheaper compared to outside, but home cooked food is definitely the cheapest. You'll probably spend like 5 to 7 euros, 5 to 10 euros for like a meal here, so it's not too bad. And also there's like places where you can microwave your food and heat up your food as well if you want to. So going down this hall, this is where, so for first year students, they will have most of their science modules are kind of general because it's kind of like a transition year, but second year onwards they will be more specialized, like the microbiology lab, the blood transfusion lab, the medical science lab will be used. And over here we will have the marine biology labs. So this is where students studying marine biology will have their labs and classes. And for marine biology students, they will have like they will have to go out to the sea and stuff like that to take on projects and kind of hands-on activities during their studies. And they also have like work placement and stuff like that as well. So like it's a lot of things to do. So like it's not just confine you to like lectures and just study. You get to really I've heard from friends doing marine biology, they go out on the sea, they do like training and stuff like that to make sure that they are safe and are allowed to get on boats, to do testings and stuff like that. So like these are the things that I feel it's more learning opportunities because it's more practical and more hands-on. And I think that's what ATU focuses more about. That's why we have a lot of labs and stuff over lectures. And this is where kind of the other labs will be at, and this is the chemistry and the physics lab will be here. So that's just kind of it for the science and computing area. Just a lot of labs, can't really go in and see them, but like all the labs, whether physics, chemistry, biology, or any type, are well equipped with like industry required kind of equipments, because the lecturers here are in touch with the local kind of business industries companies, so they know what to teach and they'll update it regularly. Like all of these halls look very same. Like it's like we're going in like a circle, so like it's very easy to get lost, especially for when you're new coming in here. But that's where kind of during inductions there will be a lot of students wearing the ATU logo shirt. Student ambassadors will be on campus to help students navigate through where to go and stuff like that. Even for like the first 3 weeks, student ambassadors will be hired to help students. So like the student ambassador job, anyone can kind of apply for it second year onwards, and it's a paid position, so it's paid by the hour. So like students like for me myself, I did it last year, and basically we just kind of help students get onto their feet, answer any questions that students or parents may have, and bring them around the campus and do campus tours like this. But over down in this corridor will be kind of the engineering department will be like around this area here. It's kind of the same with the computer rooms over here, and also like in the computing and science and computing department, except like their CAD projects and stuff like that. So like I think a lot of the engineering students, like for example civil engineer, I know someone who's studying civil engineer, they have certain practical modules where they have to go outside and actually use the equipment to practice them. So like it's really nice. So like I won't show it because it's kind of the same. It's the same hallway, same everything. And I'll bring you over to like the business kind of area. So this place is where most of like the business class happen, and the civil engineering department is over here because I think they have some concrete labs and stuff like that to kind of test like materials, tensile strength, and all that stuff. I'm not really sure because like I just heard from friends and I'm just quoting them. So like I could be wrong because I might remember wrongly. But like there's a few other lecture rooms here. It's kind of similar, but this is basically where most of the business school will be held. And also there is the Marine and Freshwater Research Center. Like just now, I mentioned about how ATU is a very famous location for students in PhD or postgraduate programs who want to study here because of the location, and we have networks all across Europe to kind of for collaboration in terms of marine life. Because marine life, depending on where you are, the climate is different, the conditions may be different, so like a lot of collaboration is needed. And I think the main thing, these kind of marine postgraduate programs is about sustainability and conservation of the marines. So like this is where the main kind of place the research will be taking on, and it's very close to where the ATU Global office is. So I'll bring you down now to the student service, the health unit, and also sports facilities. So right here we have the student service. Student service provide a lot of different kind of services for students, like career service, financial support, student health unit, disability and learning support service. So like for example, if you have a disability that's preventing you from learning properly, like the other students, you may come to the student service and talk about it, and they may give you some support that you need, which is really nice, especially during exam times, because I think you get like extra time during exams to help with your kind of condition. And also down here into this area will be the students union office. Students who want to update their leave card or anything like that, they can come down here to do it. And there's also a meditation room. Like if you see this kind of chart here, it's kind of how the inside looks like. We can't really go to some of these rooms because one of them is a health unit where students with health complications, like if you're feeling sick or if you have food poisoning or anything like that, you can book an appointment with the student health unit and you can come in. There will be nurses working Monday to Friday, and but the hours kind of depend, especially on Friday, and you have to call at least 12 to 16 hours in advance before coming in. So it's not like a on-the-spot emergency relief. If you need that, you might have to go to the hospital, but it's nice to have kind of this thing. So this is the students union, the chaplaincy, meditation and stuff. Health unit is inside that room, and I won't be able to show that because it's confidential. But that's kind of like the main, students, if they have any issues or anything like that, they come to the student union. And the student union in Galway, in ATU, is really, really helpful in the sense that each class will have class reps, and class reps can voice concern of anything to the student union, and the student union will try to fight for the students. Like recently we had there's a lot of events organized by the student union, such as because there's an accommodation crisis. I think last year they had a protest against accommodation and wanting to make accommodation cheaper, and students and lecturers are asked to participate in it. So it's really, really nice to have a student union or a student support service that actually help. And as for the sports hall, we only have one sports hall in ATU for sports. It's quite far away, and I think it's closed now, so I can't really show you the inside of it. But it's basically a big hall, and you can fit in 4 badminton courts inside. That's just to give you a big idea. And that's where most of the clubs and societies will be having. And every evening, once the semester starts, basketball, volleyball, badminton, archery, all these different sports and activities will be available here as well as clubs such as gaming club or Christianity club, International Student Society. All these clubs are also happening on campus in some of the lecture rooms and stuff like that. So it's quite useful. And as for students who want to exercise but might find trouble because of the cold and the wind and the rain, there's also a gym near the campus. It's 5 minutes away, but it's not under the school, so students have to pay a membership. The membership is about €250 for the entire year. So it's not, and compared to outside gyms who charge you €40 a month, I think it's a really good deal on it, especially if you go regularly. So that's kind of it with the tours. And walking down towards this hall, you will be at ATU Global Office, where most international students will come by with their queries and stuff like that. So that's it, kind of it. Very quick short tour of ATU Galway campus.
MSc in computing. This is an exclusively only for MSc in computing students. You can see we have graphics on the tables.
Okay.
We have the 4 locations where we have campuses in the northwest on the back. And then this lab was dedicated to the memory of a guy called Dennis Murphy.
Okay.
And he was originally a head of department within the university, but he was also one of the directors, one of the first directors of international at the university. He brought a lot of students in from Southeast Asia and China at the time. So the department wanted to kind of perpetuate his memory in terms of the genesis of international at the university. And here, about 20 years later, we're bringing more students from all over the world to this dedicated Centre of Excellence for Computing. So you can see here on the board as well, we have a lot of different terms that are quite popular within the computing domain. It's just meant to be a good environment for budding computer scientists. And you can see here the map of the world again on the wall.
Okay.
Because this represents the fact that we have students literally from every part of the world coming here to study computing.
Okay. Will you be turning all the computer labs into similar?
We are working on a couple of different projects at the moment, but we have to keep it low key because everybody wants one now. But this is exclusively only for students that are doing our MSc in computing.
Okay.